Hi, I'm Amajot, your resilience and transformation coach, working with women to help prevent and recover from burnout. And I want to give you some 5 micro ways of de-stressing. And that's because when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling stuck or anxious or completely full up to the point where all of your life's priorities are conflicting at the same time, then adding something else to it just feels impossible. And so these micro ways are something that you can put into your day as you choose. You can choose all 5 of them. You could choose the ones that resonate for you, and you could take one a day to just implement into your life in a really slow, comfortable, useful way. Because this is the thing, is that these things have to be useful, otherwise what difference are they making to your life? So that's what I want to give you, is something really useful. So number 1, switching off your phone. Now, you might freak out when I say this, but Steve Jobs said focusing is about saying no. So if you feel like you can't say no to all of the things that are coming into your inbox, to what your team or your boss is asking you for, or what your family priorities that are coming in, what can be really useful, and I use this all the time, and I notice the difference when I don't, is I put my phone on flight mode for a little while whilst I'm working on something really specific. Because the way that social media works nowadays, we're bombarded all the time. All of our apps are working all of the time. We're switched on all of the time. So even if it's the thought of not having your phone with you is freaking you out, well, try 30 minutes. So try 30 minutes of putting your phone on flight mode, or turning it off, or putting it on do not disturb whilst you focus on something else. And that can be your way of saying no just for a short period of time, and saying yes to the work that you want to do in that moment, or the time that you want to have for yourself in that moment, whatever you choose to have in those 30 minutes. Number 2 is unitasking. So we reward ourselves for multitasking, especially women, and we feel like we have to be good at it. And actually, I can be. I used to be project manager, change manager, program manager. I could multitask at the best of times, but actually, I don't want to be good at it anymore. I want to be able to focus on one thing, get it done, and move on to the next thing. And what I feel like is, and then I also enjoy that activity more, I feel more creative, and I actually feel like I get more done. So I'm able to acknowledge that I finished something and then can move on to the next thing. But I need that feeling of accomplishment, of fulfillment. And that comes from enjoying what I'm doing and feeling like I've actually completed it to some form. So unitasking is really useful, and actually putting it in the diary, choosing one thing to do and putting it in the diary. And this can be really useful if you're finding that you can't find space for yourself or time for yourself, even if it's to go to the gym, or to cook something good for yourself, or to go for a walk. Even put that one task in the diary. So unitasking and putting it in your diary. We put our meetings in the diary, we put our important events in the diary, we put going to the dentist in the diary, the doctor, or certainly I do, because otherwise I won't remember. And so why not put the things that we need in the diary? So going for the walk, or choosing that thing one by one, and unitasking. Number 3, if you feel like you've got a really long email list, and or a really long to-do list, and you're wondering how you're going to reply to everyone, you flag all your emails and think, how am I going to reply to everybody, and your inbox is overflowing, then one way to manage that can be to choose one person to go and speak to instead. And that might feel like, you might think, okay, I don't have the time for that. But actually what that can do, there's 2 things. There's 2 reasons why you'd want to do that, or at least 2. One is that actually the time it could save you from going back and forth on an issue, or on something that you're checking in with, or trying to fix a date in the diary with somebody. So, it's actually to pick up the phone, just choosing one person to pick up the phone to can make a massive difference. And you could maybe resolve that issue in 5 to 10 minutes rather than backwards and forwards. And that's not to say to set up a meeting or set up lots of meetings, but having a conversation on the phone. And the other reason for that is human connection. You know, so I remember I used to feel really frustrated by people who didn't understand what I was trying to say. And it's like, why don't you get this? I'm asking you for something really simple. Come on, let's just do it. Why don't you get this? And actually, some of my best outcomes have come from when I've just, you know what, I've given up and I'm just like, let me speak to this person on the phone. And I've picked up the phone and actually, we've both been saying the same thing, but we just had, a miscommunication in how we were communicating it with each other. So talking on the phone or talking in person, having that human connection, nothing beats it. Number 4, the most basic thing, and I know I do this when I'm kind of feeling non-stop or stressed, is I hold my breath and I feel a tightness in my chest. And it's only when I let go of my breath that I realize I was holding it. So breathing, constantly breathing, even if you have to put some check-in times for this as well, fine, do it. So just breathing simply, deeply. And if you can breathe through your heart, that's even more useful. Just long and comfortable breaths through the heart, because the heart, the science shows, the evidence shows, the studies and research show that the heart is the biggest rhythm maker in the body. So if we can get the heart to align, if we can start breathing through the heart, then it's going to help everything else align in our body as well and our mind as well. So just some breathing, basic, keep it simple, breathing. And not only is it a distraction, it brings you back to now, but there's nothing special you have to learn for this. Breathing deeply, and just even if it's 3 to 5 long breaths before you go into a room, after you finish a meeting, or however you want to do it, breathing deeply. Number 5, walking. So, and by that I mean walking away from something. So it could be going for a walk, but what do you need to do to disrupt yourself from your cycle or what you're in? If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you can't take action right now, if you're feeling like you're making mistakes or you're not able to focus, maybe that you're, kind of the priorities are conflicting all at the same time, just disrupt your cycle right now. Walk away, go and look out of a window, choose something different. And that could be to go for a walk, and that could be to go for a walk around the block and come back, go and get a coffee, go to the toilet, but move. Okay, so walking, creating disruption, movement. And and what these will help with is they can take you from when we're feeling stressed, or when we're feeling like we haven't got the space in our head to take in anything new or to understand other people's point of view or to even see clearly. This helps you create some relief, some space in your time and space in your environment and space in your head. I hope that's useful for you. See you soon. Bye.